Welcome to the channel. My name is SV and today we're playing Satisfactory. I'm wondering what all this noise is in the background. What is that noise? You guys hear that? Like a weird buzzing? Let's reload the save just to see what's going on. $397 hours on this save currently. See if that helps. So I have the day off of work today, which means I'll be on for quite some time. This is going to be quite a long stream / video for those of you watching in the archive version, but I'm sure you already see how long it is. But I want to get a whole bunch of stuff done today. I want to get probably Quartz finished up as best as possible. So getting train station put into there. There's not a close Quartz node. I looked for it last night. It's a decent distance away, so we'll have to figure out what that looks like. And then I really want to start getting like iron plates, iron rods, screws, full copper stuff up and running. Yeah, I don't know what was making that noise. Okay, we're walking and we literally have no supplies. So let's go get some supplies. So a few things that I'll show you. That we tackled yesterday, and then I also did after work as I played a bit. Let's take some cable. I am going to take some color cartridges. We've been neglecting painting, so we'll do some of that. I'll take some cement. Just a few stacks of those. Full thing of that. I did more exploring yesterday, got more hard drives. Not many, only a few. I'm finding it harder and harder to get the hard drives that I... basically, I'm just kind of running out of them. And I need to figure out what's going on with my train station and why it's not bringing plastic over. I'll take a couple of stacks of those, take a bunch of that. That's probably, yep, full up. Why don't I just dump a few of these back in? So I want some steel beams and pipes. I'll probably need some wire. Me drop off a couple of those and get some things of wire. So as you could see, I did a little bit of exploring yesterday. I also built a whole bunch of these. I was tired of just like, it's one of those things where I was like, well, whatever, I'm just going to make a whole bunch of them so I don't ever have to worry about them being on. Let's steal another car. Eventually our garage will be empty as we keep driving them and leaving them places. I turned off the train markers on here because it's overwhelming. Wait. Is there no window there? What happened here? Has that been like that the whole time? I guess we don't often come to this side. And are these the ones that don't have any fuel? Because of course they don't. Let's see if this side does. Otherwise we'll just go grab some. Nope. And we don't have the space to grab anything. We're gonna do this temporary thing. Let's go get some fuel. So, like I mentioned, it's going to be a long stream, so I plan on actually getting quite a bit of stuff accomplished in here. So, am I going crazy? It's in alphabetical order, so where am I missing this? There we go. And you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to toss in like color cartridges for now. So we're definitely not going to need them right away. But, okay. So let's talk about what things we're tackling first. Oh, actually, you know what? Before we do that, I want to talk through some of the things I did yesterday. So let's look at that. So I've been having problems with trains, and specifically it's in this intersection where, as you can imagine, there's quite a bit of traffic that comes through here, as this is our main throughput. So often if a train is coming this way, there's one coming this way, and then a couple coming down this way, they'll get stuck and none of them will move. Which is odd to me because I think it's an overlap in the block signals, but I'm not sure. Anyway, I replaced the block signals on these parts with path signals, as typically we'd have a train coming out this way that would want to go down there, and then we have a train like here that wanted to go this way, like that. And then they would both stop because this was a block. With paths, they both could action at the same time, as there wasn't a chance that they'd be colliding anyway. So that's, ever since installing that, it's been perfect. I also installed a path one here for that same exact reason. Like if there's a train sitting right here, it shouldn't stop here because that's part of a block. They just keep moving. So ever since we did that, it's been pretty good. Is there a reason this isn't getting loaded? Is this set to unload? No, it's set to load. Yeah. Is this thing just not turned on? So they also changed. Okay, so yeah, there's no timetable here. Copper ingot out. Turn on self-driving. So it used to be V for a train menu, now it's Q. Yeah, this should now load up the copper once this docks. Yep. That'll make sure that we've got a full train when we start creating the iron and copper factories. Iron has been full forever. That's currently our biggest factory at four floors. Seems like it maybe is, like I can't action this here, so it might be a little bit buggy. Or whatever. Keep doing your thing there, train. We're gonna go and take a look at the concrete factory because I did a little bit of a design pass on it last night. And that's going to be one of the ways we differentiate these factories is, you know, first here's our template, which is what you're seeing now. It's really to block out space, make sure that we've got appropriate coverage across the board, all of that stuff. Space for machines. But, sorry, let me turn off notifications for my work stuff really quick. Alright, we're good. I just rolled over to a pole. Alright, so you can already see our concrete factory here a little bit. And I really like the way it turned out. I wanted it to be very concrete, obviously, you know, mimic like what the building is producing. I like this idea, and I think I'm going to continue this because we have it with our iron, and now we've introduced it here into concrete. Where, well, it's going to be a problem when we use refineries, but what building, what machine is producing the materials inside? So that's what's there. Well, you can see when coming in, I also really like this slope like this. Coming in, it's all concrete. I like the little cutouts on the windows like that. I think that looks really super cool. And yeah, I'm pretty proud of this. Also, nice little thing here. I'm not sure if you can tell, but this wall is in the middle of the foundation. And then this is just well, there's walls on the sides, but that's just a 4-meter foundation up there. So I think it's super cool. Power's not being run back to it just yet because we didn't necessarily have a way. So let's just maybe add it back in. So that we can get some power flowing back into this factory and make sure that it's up and running and producing. I forgot that this is actually one that we do really need because we are actually using the resources out of this. I have disconnected the starter factory concrete flow. Where is that? Is it not reachable enough? If this clips, I'm going to be disappointed. Nope. Okay. That works. I don't mind that at all. Let's just make sure power's coming in again. Yep. And we're producing concrete once more. Great. Yeah, I really like the way this looks. And we're leaving it modular, so it's only one floor so far, and we'll add additionals as we need. I did finish out this floor also last night. I've also been collecting the Fixmas gifts and just storing them in the hub area. So how do I put this? Because I'm a little disappointed in myself and not thinking about this sooner. The iron plate, iron rod, and screw factory was going to actually be pretty big because I was going to do iron plates and iron rods on one side and then screws on the other side. So think basically double the length of one of these factories. All well and good, but we don't have double the length over there. We only have single length. So I'm not sure if I want to do iron plates, iron rods in one there and then figure out a location for screws. Or do I find a location that can accommodate both? So I think quartz is good. Let's just double check it. I'm not sure if I actually have a subway. Well, I definitely don't have my subway station over here, but yeah, I don't even have a way to get down into. So yeah, sorting's not done. We don't have a train station bringing in quartz. Do I want to tackle this right now, or should we find a space? Let's find a space for iron. Because that's actually more time sensitive. We're getting plenty of quartz and silica from the starter right now, and I know we're getting plenty of iron plates and iron rods, but I want to eliminate that out of the train so that we could focus the other pieces and let that back up and start creating more modular frames and rotors and all of the things that those pieces require. So let's see if we could actually build it on this side, kind of by where our train station is. Because it's going to be a big, big foundation. And this one I don't necessarily have a template for. So we'll see. The problem here is the moth, right? We've got to find out where this moth is going to be flying through. Slash... Oh, there's the moth right now. So it feels like we could build it just on the other side of this. So let's plan for that, and we'll see where it intersects as we start. Oof. Sometimes get a little carried away on that jump. Do we have enough to... No, we don't. Let's check in to see if we had enough inventory space for me to deconstruct that. The answer is no. I'll build like a mini factory up here also. I just don't know what we're gonna put there. So I'm gonna say, what if we start it here? Arbitrarily started here? Concrete 2 meter. There we go. So regardless of its length, it's still going to be 25 wide. That's 11. 21. 25. Okay, and what we'll do is just preemptively build in the street, and let's see if the moth clips into anything. Side streets are 3 lanes wide. At least that is the rule we want to stick to. I know that that doesn't necessarily apply over there. But this thing could be quite big. So let's see. Yeah, so that's really the space that I'm worried about, because I think the moth flies out this way. Which, depending on where it falls, I mean, we have enough space for another factory side by side. So we could put maybe copper that way. I'm not sure. Let's find out what... what we've got. On top of it, there's quite a bit of resource. So this is one of the starting areas. I forget what it's called, the grasslands or something like that. But there's iron nodes there, 2 limestone nodes there. There's limestone there, that's copper there. Look, more limestone. There's a lot down in here where it could warrant even another train station. Like right there, so we might build both. Like have a train station like that one, but kind of like right here in this area. Moth, you better turn around. How high up is that? Doesn't seem very high up. But that looks like it would only clip with the road, if anything. Okay. I think we're kind of golden, huh? We could have even maybe pushed it a little bit. Let's see if it doesn't fly over the road and over the factory on this side. That looks kind of cool, huh? Look at that. What a happy accident that that worked out that way. Oh, that's not good. Maybe we go over that spot. Yeah, maybe we go like do a little bit of a bridge. Let's go like this. And then yeah, we'll use a double ramp like this, asphalt. think that should be enough space. I don't know, maybe not. That's probably not enough space, but we can... Let's maybe use a double. Is a substantially bigger climb. Hopefully we didn't misinterpret the start. Like it might be right here actually. Or right here possibly, I'm not sure. Just didn't want to use the 4 meters because we're talking about a mismatch in foundation sizes, so. What are you gonna do? Sometimes you gotta do what you gotta do. We could always smooth it out at the bottom if need be. Alright, we're gonna watch the moth again, and then it's time to start building that factory. Good vantage point over here, maybe. Well, that doesn't look too bad, though. We can gussy that up a bit. Wow, it's taking its sweet time. So as long as it doesn't cross this line. Oh, we're perfect. I love it. We got enough space below for a train station, no problem. It doesn't even clip the road. Should I take the chance? Come on, fly under that bridge. Yeah, we're going the right direction. Still clipping. But better. So if we move this back, oh, I don't know, let's move it back to here. That should get us pretty good clearance. Alright, time to build this factory. So we know it is 25 wide, which is our normal width on one, and normally it's 51 long. Trying to think of how I want to frame this, because It's basically going to be double. So it's basically going to be 102 long. Let's just build it out, see how it goes. So I think that's 11. I'm just going to double check this. Yep. Are we going to run into it on this side? Yep, we 100% are going to run into it on this side. That moth, man, does not make it easy. Building it over that way is going to make it difficult for trains to come in and out. Shit, where are we going to build this factory? We got to build smaller ones on this side. Or rethink. Damn. If only that moth wasn't flying about. And if only there wasn't a kill box that way. It'd be so nice. Let's take the back road. How frickin' wide we made this street for whatever goddamn reason. I don't know. Maybe because the train's underneath. So the only other place I'm thinking is if we do a long build along the new roadway. So that's what we're going to take a look at now. It is nice that I have just like this nature and stuff over on the side here. Let's go grab that slug while we're here. A few key platforms lets you basically get anywhere. Every time I'm out exploring, I find, obviously, I mean, there's a lot more power slugs out in the world than there are hard drives, but I've got quite a bit of power shards. Say like a few hundred. So there's quite a bit in the fuel generator plant right now. Is that a Caterium node? Did I know that that was there? What is that, Caterium or iron? What is that? Oh yeah, Caterium. Took a little longer to beep when it was literally right there and you saw the piece go by. Adam, at work now, can't stay and watch, but wanted to pop in and say thanks. I really enjoy your videos. Thanks, man. I appreciate that. Appreciate you jumping in and saying hi. Alright, so here's the deal. Do we build it on this side going out, or do we build it on this side going out? We're for sure, this is going to be a relocation probably into this area, and we'll build up instead of out like it is here. I'm kind of inclined to say We'll start it here, aligned with whatever factory this is going to be. Just make, I guess we'll continue this being 4. Actually, the main line should be 4. This should only be a 3. So we're going to reduce that down to 3. And that actually should be reduced to 3 over here because it's not a main road. This is a side road. And it'll give us space to put a sidewalk in here that won't potentially. Oh, over here it will, but I was thinking it might clip. Put that in there. For some reason, that won't line up that way unless you have a foundation to the side. FYI. Okay. So that's our sidewalk on the other side here. That's our curb. And this. So if this is 4 lanes wide, this is where our next curb is. I know that's a little weird looking, but you know, we're doing 3 lanes down to 4 lanes. Or 3 lanes into 4 lanes and basically back the other way. So these are strange intersections. I'm trying to think how I would better do this, but I think this is how it's going to go for now. Alright, so let's block it out. If this is our new one, so we need to go 25 this way. That's 11. Extended a little further than I expected. I think that still gives us space over here for our power plant, and we'll build that one up for turbo fuel. If you think that this fuel generator power plant is big, wait till we build turbo fuel. It's going to be ludicrous. Okay, so that's 11. We won 102. It's 21. Hopefully it doesn't get to the road. 31. $41. $51. Yeah, we're getting there. This is a pretty big build. 61. Oof. 81? I think that was 10, damn it. 91. Wow, this could be almost the full length. 101. 102. Let's verify. And it might need to expand. We'll see. But holy shit, is this going to be a big factory. 102 long, 25 wide. Okay, so that's the 50 mark. And this is going to be our first major production factory that isn't in the starter base. Yep, that's 102. That's exactly right. Oh man, that's huge. Okay. So, man, That's directly going to be over the power plant, which means sooner rather than later, we're going to have to redo the power plant. Actually, we're okay for now because trains are going to pass right over it. So that's alright for now. We don't have to worry about the train station currently intersecting. Now we're going to loop it back over to that side, create the other side, create the road around it so that we can easily navigate without having to worry about. That's 11. We want 25 on this side. That's 21. And then 4 more completes this side of it. Yep. And then this should just connect directly to our other side here. And then the plan was to shift this road to this side anyway. And also the train route below as well. That way we could actually utilize the other side there as well. So we could build our copper factory on the other side there. Yeah, if we really wanted to, we could just cut whatever this factory was going to be and put it to that side. Like, instead of building it out that way, we'd just build it out this way. And maybe build 2 of them that way. So we definitely could fit 2 that way. As long as lengthwise we could fit them. Look at that. Perfect. Let this autosave go. We for sure don't have the plastic to make this a true factory floor like the one right there. So for now we'll just use actually before we do that, let's build our road around it so we have that ready to go. But we'll use this same foundation because it's just strictly concrete, which I like, and I do like the look of it. Although when it's like one on top of another, sometimes it's really difficult to see it. So we're building pretty big on this channel. Pretty big. That's where bauxite is. We're getting like what felt like a whole bunch of room is now very quickly becoming like, well, do we really have that much room? I mean, we've got a good portion of the map left still to build on top of. It's just that damn moth flying around on that side. There's our sorting train coming back from the starting station, from the starter base. See why we need all this concrete? It's a good thing we have that concrete train up and running, delivering materials back to the home base. So for now, we're going to build this 3 wide. I'm not sure if this will change to the new street line, but tackle that when we need to. For now, just building up our framework for this giant build. This is hands down one of the biggest factories I will have ever built. I built some pretty big ones in the desert in the past on different playthroughs, but not one that's 25 foundations times 102 foundations. Not to mention a 3 foundation street buffer all the way around it. This one almost guaranteed will be a 4 foundation one, but this might be our main road. We'll tackle that when we tackle that. I keep waiting to get the turbo fuel recipe that I'm looking for. One that uses a blender and sulfur, and it's just not coming up for me. Had that already come up, we would have already built the new power plant. Or that'd be maybe the project that we're working on now. But it's just funny to me that we're building this big and our main base doesn't even have iron plates or iron rods being produced. We're still relying on our tiny little starter factory on mostly Mark III builds and minimal efficiency in production. Yeah, we'll just extend it to here just for the coverage of it, but it's almost guaranteed that this will be our main road. Just do that. Whew. What a fun big build, huh? So if you're watching this on YouTube, I am streaming this live. There are currently no people watching, so if you ever want to come in and join me, basically have an open forum to chat. Oh man, I'm realizing we are for sure not going to have enough concrete to finish this build. Usually like to do it this way. I feel like it's more consistent in hitting that 10 mark. I just basically swing the mouse all the way to the right. Sometimes the up and down, when you go like that way, it doesn't catch exactly what you're looking. This way it feels a lot more consistent and therefore faster. Oh yeah, we might not even finish half of this or a quarter of this. Imagine later when we have to paint this, and we not only have to paint it, but we also have to change it to plastic, the coated concrete. How many foundations is that? 2,500 roughly? 2,550? Right? 25 by 102? Times 7? Yeah. We're looking at like 16,000 roughly concrete. I mean, we have it. We're just gonna have to make some runs to go get it. I mean, that's half of it, more or less, built. Probably like, if I'm honest, maybe like 40% of it built. And silica and such. I'm not sure why I brought rotors and motors and all that stuff with me. Sometimes I bring it just in case, because you're just like, oh, well, you're out building something and then realize that you need it, and then you just don't have it. And just imagine how big this thing is going to be when it's complete. And when it eventually gets to like, we're going to build one floor first. Like, obviously, I'm not going to build a second and a third floor yet for iron plates, iron rods, and screws. But think about the amount of output that's coming out of this. I'm likely thinking a train that's like iron plates and iron rods, and then I'm thinking a train that's screws. I'd have to figure out how we're going to do the reinforced iron plates factory, all of that stuff with trains. Interesting. So if we do 2 different train lines out of there, which to me makes sense because screws are a pain in the ass and they take up so much on a belt that even having them comboed with plates and rods is going to be, that's going to be our bottleneck. They are going to bottleneck the belt. And their stack size is so high that it for sure is going to bottleneck it. So yeah, I think by default we're going to have to do two train lines. I'm thinking maybe just 3 train lines. In the sense of 1 for plates, 1 for rods, 1 for... Just get rid of this. I don't know why I brought them with me. Don't need that. I'll leave the plastic. I'll get rid of those. We came for concrete. Because we need at least 8,000 more. Just take all of it. Okay, we're good. Our concrete train is working as designed. And don't forget that's all off of 1 limestone node so far. So we're building big on minimal resources right now. We could always add another station. Maybe that station we have built over there becomes... Maybe we expand it with more train lines in. And we just leave that side as our resources in side because there's so much over there, kind of in the grasslands in that corner. And that way we also avoid the moth. I don't know. Yeah, we'll make this the copper one. I think I have decided next up is copper and it's going to go that way. Just like iron's going that way. Damn, that concrete factory looks good, huh? Alright. Second round. After that, it's only a few foundations wide. Maybe 2 or 3. workstations wide. We got a nice little miss right here, it seems. Just, you know, the real fun parts about Satisfactory. Actually, I say that about a lot of things. Like, oh man, just imagine the belts. All of the belts for this. Imagine what that's going to look like. I mean, if you think about it, this is for sure going, like, has to be one of the biggest factories. These are core resources. Plates, rods, screws are core resources. Thinking about city layout and then realizing I'm very much not a city planner based on how many times I've had to redo the streets and where everything is zoned. But, you know, it's not my line of work anyway. Yeah, we're building quite a big platform here. Oh, that one feels like it wasn't a 10. We should have plenty of concrete to finish this. Yep. Only 3 wide. See if we can do these pretty consistently. I mean, all things considered, this built pretty quick. Like zooping, man. Zooping allows you to actually build this in a super quick way. Before placing each of these down individually, this would have taken like half a day. Maybe not. It's an exaggeration, but you know. And the inside of this is going to be so much work also to determine ratios, and I haven't mapped this one out like I have the others, so you know, it might not be as clean, and I can guarantee you now we don't have enough steel beams and silica probably on us to accompany this. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, so I think that's our corner. No, because that's only 2. So that's 3. That's this corner. 3, 3. snag a gift or two on the way. Yeah, this is going to be a pretty resource intensive build here. At least we already have the iron ingot train built. So our input for this, but it's 1, 2, 3, so it should be here. Yep. And then this side is considerably shorter. Should be there. You know what I didn't realize until just recently, maybe even just yesterday, is that some of these are different sizes, as you can see here. I think you get more for the bigger ones. Or maybe it's just random, I'm not sure. Ourselves quite the factory here. Designing, I mean, this is our biggest building yet. This is basically the equivalent of our iron ingot and our hub factory together. Well, a hub, I guess, is not a factory. Okay, time to find the middle. It's gonna be, I'm gonna guess, I mean, we can do the math, right? 4 on either side, minus the 102. So that's 50. And actually realizing that because it's not an odd number, it's going to really mess up our ratio. So our entrance is going to have to be double wide, which I think that's okay. We'll just do the new gate for that. So that's 94 total. 94 divided by 2 is 47. So we want to stop at 46. Yeah, we could have done that math. But sometimes it's fun to walk around, like, look how big this space is. So that's 46, meaning those are center. And that's what I'm saying. Let's do an automated gate there for our doors. Yeah, if we're going to have a giant factory, let's have a giant-ass factory, you know? The collision on these is strange. It's like... Here, like... That is not highlighting it, it's the back of it. Like, this is actually... See how it closes to here? That's actually the back of it. It's weird. Anyway. We'll leave that as our border, just as a reference. And then our typical is 3 out. Here. I think we'll do... I want to use this one, or should we use this one? Let's see what that looks like. And can we make it steel. That doesn't look great in steel. Let's see this window. How does that look in steel? Yeah, let's use this one. We're going to give it a little bit of separation between iron rods and iron plates will be on this side, screws will be on that farther side. And that'll be a nice little way to differentiate the factories. So we'll split this one in half. And then I still want the equivalent of at least 2 780 lines output. If you think about it, we have basically the equivalent of one of those factories on one side here. And so each side there outputs two 780 lines? 4 780 lines? I don't know. We're gonna have to look at it. Anyway. So it's 1, 2, 3 and then start. It's 1, 2, 3 and then start. Lovely template here has served us well. It's going to be a little unique on this one because we're building twice the size. That honestly should be okay. I do like the way this window looks. We haven't really used this one much before. And yeah, we'll give this one like a steel look. It's like where all of our metal parts are being produced, so it should, right? And then what is this, like 15, so at 7, so this is center. So yeah, like even with this, let's make it a steel wall like that. And the same things would do the corners like we always do. Okay, now it's not going to be a concrete wall. I want a steel wall. All the way around. And we're going to do our method of saving some time here. Now that we've got the doors that we like, those are going to go on the corners as usual. And that is the start of one of our sides. Yeah, I like these windows with the steel walls. I feel like it's turning out pretty well. Nice, super long building. Probably need some doorways like somewhere down the middle. Especially when we separate out. The two sides over here. Makes it so much faster to build when you can just do that middle click feature. It's weird, there's like a noise when you run into a wall. That's glass. It's a unique touch. Maybe because like sometimes they're so see-through that it's hard to tell. It's like that episode of Curb Your Enthusiasm where he runs into the glass door and then Lucy Liu doesn't look at him the same way anymore. Oh yeah. It's looking cool. Might do a little bit of a paint job on this at some point, but also need to figure out what's going on with the plastic in the starter factory and why it's not getting to us quickly enough. It's likely because other materials are slowing it down in the sort. Auto saves. This is supposed to be a door. We're immediately just going to change it to the one we want. So when we copy it, it's the one we want. And then same goes for these two. That is our first floor, halfway done. Oh. Building big. What else is there to say here, you know what I mean? We've got a giant build ahead of us. The only thing I will say, well, not the only thing, but the one thing I will say is it's going to be fun to understand how we're getting all of the constructors in here. And there's going to be quite a bit of constructors in here. What's it going to be, 200 and something? 208, if it's double what we've got on the other bases. It's just like, honestly, screws is going to be a problem. That's the part that I'm like, how are we going to deal with the belts for screws? Having all, like the way that they're produced, we're going to use the casted screw, so ironing it directly in the screws. We're not even going to mess with first turning them into rods and then into screws. That sounds like a nightmare, doesn't it? I knew we were going to run out of steel beams. There's no way we were going to have enough steel beams. Also didn't realize that that's what that required. I don't know why, but I figured it was just iron plates. How much space do we have? Do we have enough space? Or should I just dump some materials here? I mean, once we build out these walls, we're golden. Then we're going to need a metric ton. We actually might have enough. So that allows us to build 250. Yeah, we're going to need more cable. So we're basically going to go through all of our cable, and then there will be no way to wire it and power it up. But sooner rather than later, we're actually going to have to worry about power again. I know we're running 23,000 megawatts right now, but it's not going to be enough. Well, you know what we could do is a battery bank in some of these islands that we can't really put a factory down in. Be a solution for some of that. We also do batteries down the middle of the main road, because we don't need 4 lanes to drive up and down. We really just need the one. So what if we put batteries all the way down the main stretch of the road? That seems excessive. Provide us a pretty healthy buffer, though. Maybe a few dozen hours to build out a new factory, a new power plant, that is. I am going to redesign our way of transferring power, I believe. I think I'm going to make it tunnels. I don't know. Yeah, I'm not sure. I have to think about that some more. Ooh, it's probably going to be enough, but we got to get that stocked back up. What I should do is I should draw out a path back and forth here, and then just say drive, and then turn off self-driving, and then turn on self-driving, and all that stuff. It might be a good way to do that, so I don't have to actually do this drive. I just jump in the car and turn it on, go, and it'll get me there eventually. I don't know what we're going to do for the design of the copper and the Caterium factories just yet. Probably just stick to somewhat of a standard build, but just color scheme it. Caterium, make it yellowish gold, and Quartz will make it purple and white. Copper will leave it like a burnt orange. You can only see my pup right now. He is sleeping and incredibly adorable. Oh, what's this big building over here? It's just to produce some of the first materials you would have created ever in the game. You know, no big deal. I'm increasingly thinking we make this like a double level factory. Whereas we just take everything here and this is just the ground floor and then we go up. How frickin' crazy would that be? Imagine the logistics of building out like that. We'd have to have quite a few lights because it would be dark AF on the bottom floor. Especially when, you know, I have the permaday mod on right now so that we can build without it being pitch black. It can be really difficult to see sometimes. And what's the point of doing YouTube videos if you can't even see it? That is actually supposed to be a door. And that is our next factory done. Okay. Oh, we didn't get cable. We'll see how far we get without having to go for another round of cable. Okay, so the way we normally build it is 2 out and then 3 up. So this would be where the first constructor is. So let's just plan this out. That's constructor number 1. And let's say this is iron rods. Okay, we're going to do iron rods there. And then, so it's 1, 2, 3, so it should be on this one. The downside of these foundations, it's actually hard sometimes to see where the lines are. 1, 2, 3, yep. And this would still be iron rods. And then we do 1, 2, 3. And that would still be iron rods. 1, 2, autosave. 1, 2, 3, here. Let's verify that. 1, 2, 3, yep. And that's the last iron rod one. So 4 rows of iron rods. And it's 1, 2, 3, then here. We're just seeing if this is going to line up. This is going to be iron plates. 1, 2, 3, and then right here. Also iron plates, so 2 more rows. 1, 2, 3. Yep, this one. Iron plates. 2, 3, so it's this one. So do we have way more space? So it's 1, 2, 3, 4 rows. And we still have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 foundations. Really though, this would be the limit here. So we're troubleshooting in real time here because this is obviously a different scale than what we've built so far. And let's say we make this iron plates. We make this iron plates. Is this 3 foundations wide? That's 4 foundations wide. So you know what we're going to do? We're going to build... Shit, how many rows is it? Is it 2 full rows or 4 full rows? I feel like it can't be 4, right? Let's go take a look at one of our factories. Concrete one is closest, and it's closest analog anyway, because we're building constructors. And let's see how many rows each side has. My thought is we'll maintain that number of rows, but we will also put a little bit of a walkway or overhang space that allows you to navigate that area a little bit better. It's a little bit of a barrier between iron rods and this looks so good, between iron rods and screws. So one, yeah, so it's only 4. Okay, that makes it easy. So what we'll just do is build 4 on each side of our building, and then we'll leave the middle as a walkway. And that's also how we'll split the screws, because we're definitely going to have to split screws substantially on belt lines, because I don't really, well, I do care what the input is, but it's going to be very difficult to control the input for screws as much as it's going to be to control the output. The output for screws is going to be a problem. So we got 1 line and then 2 lines. So this one can go and this one can go. So those 4 separate lines, but you know, 2, however you want to call it, 2 sets of 4 lines. Okay, that 1, 2, 3. So we need it here. See what I'm talking about on the lining up? 1, 2, 3. Okay, 1, 2, 3. It's on this one. There. So those will be iron plates. And why don't we do the same thing? 3. We'll make that a wall. Like say that's where we come in on. 1, 2, 3. That's wide. It's like its own separate factory. How many foundations is this? 6? It's not enough to put another line in without messing up our ratios. I guess it might be with this. Whatever. I think we'll leave it like so, and then obviously we could always build up. That's the plan. And more room for us to sort and figure out belts, the better. Alright, let's lay some constructors down. I also just realized that painting those foundations is going to be a nightmare. We might have to paint it after. It's an easy way to place them right there though, right? Just hold that snap. Yeah, who needs smart foundations when you can do stuff like that? As long as the spacing works for you. So, you know, some people might want foundation between or whatever, but to me that's not nearly as important as a nice clean belt line coming out. And This is a big build. I'm gonna keep saying it because I am really starting to realize how much work is gonna go into just this factory alone. Okay, I was like, what is happening? It was not cooperating. One of these is offset. Which effing one is offset? Is it the first one? Oh my lord. Okay, those are good. So I'm going to learn my lesson. We're going to set the recipes now. Doing it with belts is shitty. And then we had a helpful tip. Get rid of all the things that you're not doing belts for. So this is going to be iron rods, actually. It's weird like that the mouse doesn't, like, I don't know how to describe it. Like it should remember the position. I should just open it and click, open it and click, instead of like dragging back up from center. It makes it so that I'm always having to shift it on my mouse pad like back down. And it would be so nice to say iron rods and just literally put my build gun over it and paint what recipe I want. But again, for the typical person building, you're not building at this scale and have to worry about building 208 constructors. How much power do they draw? 4 milliwatts. 4 times 208. 832 just for Iron Factory. I feel like that's not as bad as I thought it would be. That's when it's running at full capacity also, which in the end this will be. And it's only 832 per floor. So when we start adding additional floors, we will have quite a bit more. Ooh, I like that there's going to be a little bit of a walkway here. It'll be nice to have, and you know what we could do? We could do like a car route through also. I think we might do that actually. So we've got plenty of space. There's no reason why we couldn't drive a car in if we needed to. Be another good use of those steel doors. For a second I thought that was misaligned. I mean, yes, this is a big build and it's taken a little bit of time, but honestly, it's not as long as I expected it to be taking so far. We're going to have a nice clean belt line as well, because everything's going to be sorted underneath, which we haven't built that platform yet. Wait, what is this? Iron plates? Yeah, okay, good. And we'll have to do the math here in a sec as well. Make sure that the output belts can support 780 per. I believe so, considering it's 30 in, 20 out. So one input could support 2 floors per one of these, or it could support 2 rows. But we're not going to do it that way. We're going to do it one belt out of the train station per line. So iron plates would, for maximum efficiency, have to have 2 floors. Okay, we've got all of that set. And do we do our favorite? Do we have enough materials for this? Also, let's just double check, make sure that that does line up. It does. Great. We can get this up and running pretty quick. We might even do a little bit of a makeup pass on this one more than some of the others, because this is kind of our final iron plate, rod, and screw factory. Maybe even building a couple of floors so that we can just tie it off and say, hey, you know what this is? We're building 4 floors. If we have to come back later, then we'll just redo the roof. But 4 floors of this, building, what, 8? That'd be 832 constructors. Seems excessive. But yeah, maybe we'll, yeah. If you're gonna do it big. Let's see. Once we get this laid down, I am not positive we have the appropriate number of belts to make this Mark IV all the way around. It's possible. You know, it would be much smarter for me to actually lay down the train station and get the train coming in and preemptively get materials ready to come into this, but there's really no rush if you think about it. As we're getting plenty of materials from the starter base, but additionally because our train is already full of iron ingots, this is going to get saturated pretty quickly. And since it's not going anywhere for a while because we don't have another factory to utilize these resources, it's just kind of stuck. Like our iron ingot factory has been for quite some time. But it'll supply our base, and it'll be helpful to always have a full stock of iron plates, iron rods, and even if our base runs out, there's going to be a healthy stock sitting here or at the train station. This will utilize more than obviously one train full. So we're going to have probably 3 iron ingot trains coming out, which which also means our iron ingot facility might not be equipped to handle that output just yet. But we've got 2 train stations there. And since iron ore is coming in on 1, that's one place where I might build back-to-back train stations. Ooh-wee. Yeah, I'm gonna go grab like a little beverage here just so I have something to drink. Getting parched. Picked up some Gatorades today just so that I have something to drink. Tasty. Okay. Maybe we do the 1/2, aka plates and rods. Get trains into it, get that up and running, then tackle the screws. That's how we'll tackle potentially. I definitely want this to be coated concrete though. Having it just be this asphalt, I mean, it doesn't look bad, but you can't really paint this well. Actually, we're going to take a look at it. I feel like you can paint it pretty well, but I like that shine, especially when you add lights of the coated concrete. Auto saves are getting longer when I select load the game. Every time I start it up, it takes so long to get into this. I mean, it's not a kibitz save, but it's still up there. You know, we've got a pretty decently sized factory here. Problem, like the thing about a kibitz save though is he's got big factories all around the map, and then one mega factory somewhere else, typically, in his playthroughs. And I'm just centralizing everything into one location. Or a relatively big location. I am really thinking, do we do a second floor to our entire base? How insane would that be? And we would move the... we actually wouldn't even move the hub and space elevator. I think we would just extend the base above. Oof. That's a wild thought, though. Just imagine how big, how much foundation space. I mean, I can't imagine how much foundation space. That's how much foundation space we've already built. I'm increasingly thinking that that's going to be what we do. I'm just thinking about how, like, cyberpunk that feels, that you just have an entire underground factory producing things, and then it just becomes higher and higher tiers of products above. In that event, we could have, if we're going to tackle it, that we could have planned it a little bit better about running one tier of product up to the next tier. Train solves that also. You can do the completely cost, zero power cost of belts, using belts to transfer everything. I just have the most ludicrous belt spines. That might be fun. Nice thing is you can delete anything and start and get all the materials back and then just rebuild how you want it. We've done that a number of times already in this build. My hand itches for some reason. Have an ex-girlfriend tell me that means I'm going to come into some money. I'm like, what? How does that make any sense? What does that have to do with anything? Okay, so damn, that's big. Now we separate it into two separate rooms. It'll look a little more manageable. And our lobby is basically the same size as it always is. Let's do a little bit of our architecture here, like we do. We'll likely paint these also. I want there to be some sort of a color scheme to this place. I think our steel factory will be largely black as the way the steel ingots come out, but maybe this one will do. I don't know. Yeah, we'll play with it. I haven't decided yet. If you have thoughts on what color it should be, just leave it in the comments. That's a hell of a sight to see right there. Maybe YouTube will snag that as a thumbnail. And it is a windy day outside. I can hear it hardcore outside my window right now. Not sure if it's picking up the mic. It doesn't look like it is, but holy cow. We're leaving that little line down there as just a temporary. I might build something completely made out of these steel walls like this in its place. Some sort of a design, perhaps, like we did with the concrete one. I'm using iron rods and plates on the factory that's going to be producing them. We'll leave the roof off so that I can actually put down coated concrete on that part. No point in putting another one on and then having to just completely redo it later. The roof isn't as important as the floor is here. Thinking how we're going to lay out the road lines and such for that, but yeah, we'll take a look. This is the border for basically the top floor. Like what would be the next ground floor for the next row of these. I mean, you've seen me build this before, you know what's up. There's like a noise just now, like one of the animals or something. I don't know if you heard that. Finish up this walkway. We'll do the one inside and then add our cross beams for power as we've been building. Bring power into the base. Make sure that all recipes are set. And then focus on sorting floor and potentially train floors? To think we're going to build another one just this size for copper. I mean, these will be our biggest two factories, as they are the most common of parts. Oh, wow, we ran out of those materials real quick. Here's what I'm going to do. Do I have enough to actually... I'm going to dump some materials in here that we're not actively using, that we can come back and tackle. Like silica, plastic quartz. Those. Yeah, that's good for now. By turning off train pieces on the compass, I'm not sure if that impacts if I have a... I would assume a collision would still alert me, but I'm not sure if it impacts if there's a problem with a train waiting too long, which is what I was getting before I put in those path signals. So occasionally I'll pop in and check, but it looks like we're good on our trains after that path signal setup. The game is freaking out as I'm coming across loading screens. That's how you know you've built a big base, when halfway through your base you're getting a new section loaded. The map is segregated into different locations, so it's a pretty beefy PvP build we got going on here. Maybe one of these days I'll install a mod so that we could fly up and see it from a distance. Or we could always build like a skyway or something. But just imagine if if this is the first floor of our base. Just imagine if that's going to be the case. And having like a whole new set of train stations above. Sorting floors above. I came here for cable also. I need to get cable. Let's dump those dumb things. There's cable, some more concrete maybe? We need iron rods and iron plates. I'm not going to take all of them. I'm going to take a empty portion of them. I am going to take all of the iron rods though. I feel like we use more iron rods than we use plates in the architecture. Yeah, 2 to 1. That's a problem. It's probably because they're going all to encased industrial beams. Which makes sense, but it might make us building an entire steel factory a bit of an issue. It'd be cool if you could paint like, if there were like stencils or graffiti. Someone should do a mod for stencils or graffiti for walls, right? Because you can paint foundations now, and you can put patterns down on the bottom of a foundation or at the top of a foundation. But you can't do it like nothing represented on the sides. As far as I know, at least. Maybe we'll test it. Actually, I don't know. I don't know if you can. Let's see. We'll get over to our steel factory, or our iron factory here, and we'll find out. Look at the size of that. Imagine that 4 floors tall. That's 1 floor. Probably build it up to 4 floors tall and leave it at that. Okay, I know we've got color cartridges here. Let's test it. If I put a foundation down, and then I put, oh yeah, I got Fixmas. Can be applied to the factory cart, truck, and drone for a merry Fixmas look. Oh. Okay. Alright, so patterns. Can I put a, see, I can't put an arrow here, it just assumes it for the top. What about for a wall? Does it allow me to do that on a wall? Yeah, invalid customization target, so no. So yeah, that I think would be a cool mod. Or a future expansion just in general to the pattern process. the longest factory walkway. Remember the old walkways like this, which are still in the game? I feel like there was a time where they would really slow down the performance of your game. Maybe there were multiple parts per part, and that's why. We're not worrying about the crosswalk just yet between the two factories. We'll deal with that in a moment. Once we get the basics laid down and get a good sense of placement on things. Got a pretty good layout going on right now. Okay, we're not going to deal with that just yet. That'll come when it's time for us to start working on the screw factory. We could do this. I think that's exactly 10 wide. But again, we can alter. Same thing here, we're going to build it across as though there isn't a dividing line, and then we'll alter on the dividing line when we get to it. Should be sooner rather than later because we're about to put in the steel beams so we can connect power to this thing and double check the recipes. This may just be the project for the day. I'm also considering, just so that for the YouTube video, breaking this up. So I might stop the stream, restart the stream, that sort of a thing. Just so that we minimize... I really super hate when that happens. We minimize the length of this video. Instead of it being like a 6 or 8 hour video, maybe it's a few 2-hour videos. I plan on playing this game quite a bit today. Yeah, I still have to do things like take the pup out, and eat lunch, you know, use the restroom, and that kind of stuff on a video on demand. Not the best experience. For you to just be sitting there with and just staring at the sky for 30 minutes while I take the pup out for a walk. Maybe we do something unique in the middle with the crosswalks. I will leave the roof of that open, like we've been doing with the center hallway. I do like the look of that a lot. It's basically one contained building with separate rooms for the materials. Must be a loading area right here. We might be between two biomes or something. Alright, so we've got a nice walkway all the way around. I think we normally just use the regular steel beams, which is exactly what we're going to continue to use here, the metal beams. Let's do it here. Right above that line. Let's get our power situated. No one saw that jump. That feels like we are off by 1. Is that better or is that exactly the same? Feels like right here. That feels better. This is my favorite way to run power lines now. Super clean, it's out of the way. You don't have a whole bunch of dangling lines or things just kind of running every which way. There, it seems. Yep. And those are our steel beams for that. Great. Now steel beams over here. Like I said, primary goal here is to get us here I think. Primary goal here is to get this wired up so we can see if recipes are captured correctly. We're gonna have to run power to the building. It's a relatively easy task, it's just a little time consuming because we've got to build power poles all the way over. When I say power poles, I mean our power poles, the ones made out of beams. I mean, I think I could probably actually just attach a biomass generator to this and see if... Actually, no, it would turn... Oh, everything would turn red because it wouldn't have power. Definitely don't have enough biomass generators to supply 800 megawatts of power. Okay, now off to the fun part. It is oddly satisfying when you just connect it directly to the beam right above. It's a nice straight line, except for that one. We might just build this out to 4 floors. Maybe that's the highest one of our factories goes, is 4 floors. In case we do want to build a second floor to this monstrosity of a base. I think it'd be so cool, but holy hell, can you imagine how much work that is? Like at some point the moth could just fly underneath one of our floors. We wouldn't even have to worry about it. Before we move on to that side, we'll wire them all up together additionally. So once we complete the side behind us, we could actually just jump onto the railings and get them all into a circuit. Sometimes getting these things click is a little finicky. That was not too bad though. Right. 2 more rows and then we're done with iron plates. And we can capture on some signs the output of these materials. We know how much is coming in and how much is going out. Where's that water? Is it just below us? Water noise is pretty prevalent over on that side. And then let's wire up these babies. Thinking about, while I'm over in this area, how we would kind of compose this middle section here between the two sides, between plates and rods. I don't know. Do we want walkways going all the way up? Probably. Do we mirror what the lobby looks like? Possibly. Autosave. I try not to be in a build state or a dismantle state or what have you while autosave is going. I feel like it just adds a little bit more complexity to the save and more potential for a crash. So I'll always take a pause if I see that coming up. Sometimes it catches me off guard because I'm not paying attention, but oh my goodness. Can I click today? You know, come to think of, like, my template design makes it a little bit difficult to tell what building is what. And I think that's why, if you're inside of it, you kind of wouldn't know what is being built really there. That's why I'm looking to redesign the... Okay, that was an interesting choice. Redesign the outside of each of the factories to better reflect the product within. And when you're within, it's really just reliant on the signage and I guess you'll be able to see what materials are being produced just because, you know, a sign will tell you this is 208 constructors producing this many rods, this many plates, this many screws, this many whatever is in that building. The cable one will be interesting because is there a recipe for straight to cable? That still uses copper? I don't think so. So we're gonna have to figure out the ratio from, you know, how many constructors for wire to how many for cable. I haven't looked at that in quite some time, so. Not since probably the start of this playthrough. And I'm not going to use an alt recipe for that. I know that there's one that's like plastic or something like that, and I'm definitely not about to introduce plastic into one of our basic factories. It does look good though when you've got the steel. You get the beams going. And then we normally have one here. I always just look for that 40. So when it comes up like 40 meters, and I'll stop it, and yep. And then that makes it easy to just have our intersecting points. So you can just say, boom. That line up? It does. Good. And then this one will be too long. Yep. It's like a new phenomenon we found in one of our builds. I think it came up in concrete as well. Potentially due to the offset on constructors versus smelters. And that's like our separator. Oof, so close, see? At least like the limitation is so small, it's just 1 meter. We're not really dealing with any half meters anywhere here, so. I just don't understand where I need to be pointing for it to be maximum, because like here it's 5. Here it's 40. It's like it's weird where it basically goes what considers going out and what considers coming in. You know, beams were just introduced, so there's plenty of things to work out there. I will not fault Coffee Stain. They are incredible developer. This is legitimately one of my favorite games ever made. Spending, I don't know, I got like 1,200 hours in the game, 1,300, maybe more. I don't need an extra seam. I'm not going to create one. So I just dismantle that. It doesn't really matter, but like you'll notice here, there'll be a seam right here. See it? Now maybe you won't be able to unsee it, but it's okay. You will live. Okay. Now power. Going to get introduced into this, and we're going to place that one right there, and then the lovely jump and place it correctly method. Oh, it's actually kind of hard to see that beam against the wall there. Interesting. That's cool though. It's cool when you get that view like that. Maybe one of the projects we work on today is sorting up the starter factory and get better distribution of materials into our hub. It's largely weighted to the starting materials. I don't know how I necessarily want to tackle that, but alright, where is the center? It looks like here, but holy cow, that's so far away. You saw how far that was? I'm gonna do this, and then we'll connect it. Did I get it? Hell yeah, I did. I do like to be a little redundant with my power. It is excessive for sure, but I do think it looks really nice. Could I also just move that there, connect them like that, and not even see that? Yeah. Do I wish I didn't just see that right now, and thinking that might be a better layout? Yeah. But we're good. I think this looks fine. Hey J Marshall, welcome back to the stream. Thanks for dropping by. Autosave's upcoming, so I'm going to take a little pause. These are only going to get longer, folks. And here to here, and then it's just a quick little hop up to our lovely, oh my god, there. Now we got to get power into this thing. It's going to be that way, but let's get a beam going just preemptively. And I can just go like that for now because it'll get extended anyway. So, what's center? This line is center now? That's center. Can we move you out of the way? Get you out of the way over here. Actually, I think we might need screws, I'm not sure. Go figure that was going to happen. Silica, plastic, that, yep. Oh, okay. It's just these. Why weren't they all in one thing? so do I want double doors or just one set of doors? I'm gonna do one set of doors, and then I'm gonna do and we might even go like so. And then let's imagine like we go up to there for now. Things can change. They very well might. Also, I like that to be a run to a steel beam above it. Anyway, so that will almost guaranteed be changed. We don't have a sidewalk on this side, so let's fix that. This is also going to be 4 lanes wide. So that was unfortunate. I think it requires one to be here, like it has to be in a corner. There we go. Someone's dumbass car alarm is going off. It's like a daily occurrence around here. Like, I don't understand what people are doing with their lives that's causing that, you know? And then this would be 3 lanes wide. Yep. So then our sidewalk stops there. And then that continues that way. For now. Remember, this factory is likely to go that distance. Okay. The only constant you can depend on is change. Well, there's other constants. See. So we always do like one foundation, so it should be here for our power pole setup. It'll be a little bit wider of one this time, considering the 2 wide door. 10 meters high. 10 meters high. Great. And then we'll do, it's right there. Yep. Or you're gonna go in my pocket for now. I didn't see the materials pop up. I panicked there for a second, thinking that I lost them somehow. We've got our little bridge, little connection to across the street. And we're going to take this like so. Again, excessive with the power, I know. But sue me, you know? Ooh, getting power all the way over to this. Especially when we're doing it this way. Is a nice little chore. We're not going to rely on that being an intersection. It might not be. So, it kind of happens to work out that that is the spot that it's going to land on, though. That's interesting. Closer like that, though. It's not going to be very pretty right now, but when we build the copper factory right here next to the iron factory, it'll be nice. Two frickin' massive factories right next to each other. And let's see how long we can go. So let's stop it here, slightly preemptively from center. The plus side is basically we're running the power for copper at the same time, even though that's not yet built. Where do we have power coming in? On the back side? That is unfortunate that it's too long. So we're going to just go a little bit offset because I don't want them like back to back. The ideal way is to calculate exactly the distance you want. Say I want one there, I want one all the way over there, and then how many in between. So that'd be something we could potentially tackle at some point when we redo the grid. Because in addition, I would like separate lines going to each factory. It appears that someone's car is getting towed. Yep. Maybe that's what that was. Someone parked in the wrong spot and the tow guy is here to clean that mistake up. It's gotta suck, but you know, don't park in other people's spots. A weird intersection. So I could be lazy and just run power to this. But then I would still have to do this at the end, right? So might as well just do it now and get it over with. Is there power that way, or do we go around the back? Or we just do... No, we're not going to do both. I was about to say, do we do both? So again, we're going to be excessive. I'm going to route this way, and I think we're going to go... that way? that lines up. This does look good when it's running on these steel beams like that. I like that a lot. Okay, let's do that here. Yep. Tying this together, and we're going to stop in front of the concrete factory and put in a line there preemptively, as though if we wanted to connect it on this side of the street as well. So here, here. Yep, like I said, might as well do it right if you're gonna do it. Sometimes it feels like the one furthest away from me always feels like it's taller than the rest. I'm like, oh, did I mess that up? Is it the wrong height? Wire too long? Really? From there to there? Damn. Let's put it here. This feels like the better location. It's a little further away from that. I really didn't expect that. I thought that was going to be more than enough space. Okay, that's good. We're going to run one this way. To the center, which is here. And then that, and we can connect that at a later date. But we'll do connection like so, like so. Here, we don't really need the output there. We're going to carry it from on this side. And currently nothing going this way, so we're just going to go straight across. But we will turn that for copper, probably. Oh man, legit building this line is no joke. I'm gonna do something here first. Having that little curb right there is nice because the Explorer will actually drive over it. Our Quartz factory isn't quite up and running. We don't even have a train station for it. We actually don't even have a location for materials for it just yet. If not for the need of like train parts, like parts to build trains, I would have already dismantled the starter factory. Because I definitely need the parts in case we need to build a new train line or something like that. Okay, I'm gonna test something really quick. that too far? Is that okay? No, that's okay. So we're going to put it to right here. See, and that's what I mean, is I'm not a fan of that being like separate distances. So I need to rethink that. But if this becomes only the first floor of our factory, like we recently decided it's likely to be, then a lot of this could change in how we run power to and from our buildings. And also how we run resources to and from some of these buildings. Yeah, this definitely will not reach to that, so let's say here. I think those should connect. We're almost there. And getting power to our lovely iron factory. Yes, this is not too far. Thank God. I thought it might be too far. Okay. Let's get over there a little faster than walking. The pup wants to come up and sit on my lap. He's like 12 pounds, he's like a little guy. Alright, so we should have power right to our iron plates and iron rods section. Autosave. Definitely gets me nervous every time it happens because I think the game's gonna crash. Switch to automatic. Why are you open? Sometimes the doors bug out and they just look like they're open all the time. Like, what? Okay, let's see if we've got power. Yeah, we absolutely do, it seems. I'm not seeing anything disconnected. Yeah, it's looking good. Okay, before we wrap it up, what I'm going to do here is I want to finish out what this lobby is going to look like. So that's 6 wide. So if we do 2, let's say these are going to be our gates to come in with a vehicle. Yeah, we'll have gates to come in like this, and then I'm thinking over here also we'll have maybe that becomes these pieces. Then we do that, and perhaps it comes down like so. Into here. And then maybe here I just do like a... Yeah, they're not new, I just don't use these. So yeah, maybe I just do those as my entrance here. Does that look good? Maybe that's too sharp. Doing a smaller one like this. Maybe it's a little cleaner. Yeah, I like that more. As the entrance. Okay, we've got ways for cars to come in. I think we do the same for these walkways for the inside. Just to have a nice, easy way to walk over everything, and then also get back up in the event that you need to. I think I'm going to do just another round of those, because it's likely to extend out down. Yeah, okay. I'm liking this so far. And then we've got like do we do like a trophy case or something that shows like iron plates, iron rods that way? We left our silica in the lobby over here, in the main lobby. Here, and here, I think we'll do doors, as we've been doing. That'll be a wall. Or do we just do windows all the way up? On the inside? Now we'll mirror what this looks like here. Is the door on this side? No, it's on this side. It makes sense because it's an entrance into this. And then here, these doors are the gate ones. You could just walk in this way if you wanted to. Or you just build one here as a footpath, as this is a road, right? So you wouldn't want your user to also have to take the road path. And this looks kind of good because then you have the walkway right here. It's weird, like I don't know, how you have to navigate. And that actually doubles as like a little bit of a walk over traffic walkway. It's looking pretty good so far. So it's like these two go away and those are replaced by doors. of, do you want to open for me, or what's going on there? Okay. And we'll add another window for up here. Stop there, because that's going to be a door. And there will be doors somewhere in the middle spots here as well. Have to figure out where. This could be a good situation to use a side door. Yeah, that's actually the perfect situation to use that. So our walkway is just slightly off center. I think it's fine if the steel beam clips, it'll just look like it's two separate steel beams. Power, on the other hand, is going through that. I don't like that. We'll have to do the power correctly. Let's see. I don't know if I like that doorway like that. I almost like it just completely open. I also sometimes don't mind these like yeah, that's actually okay. I'm gonna leave it like that. I think I like that way more than what we had just now. Yeah, for sure. Alright, that looks good. So we've got iron rods. Got iron plates over there. Gotta figure where the center is. Definitely building big on this one. We haven't even touched the screws yet. Autosave, can I beat this? Yep. Alright, let's make that steel. Steel. And where is the center door? This one. On the floor though. Should be here and here. It just turned out that I was right in the right spot. Look at that mountain in the background. That's cool. This lobby might be bigger than our actual lobby is. And here I think we'll do a barrier all the way around that way. Okay, totally didn't mean to go all the way in. Oh, I thought. Okay, messed up a couple of things there. But this actually works out pretty well because we needed to put this in here anyway. Mm-hmm. Do I want a direct path across? I probably do. across this way, I meant. It's actually, I think, exactly the same width as our main lobby. Because that's usually 10 wide. Or, maybe it's a little bit different. I'm not sure. I'd have to look at it. Yeah, what if we had like a thing right here that was like iron rods, and right here that like signaled iron plates with some details around it? Now, here's the thing that I was curious about how I want to tackle this. Well, first of all, did we not build a walkway around here? I guess we didn't have this wall yet. I'm like, what happened? Yeah, we didn't have this wall just yet. But I do like the idea of walking through the middle a bit. But not sure if I can get away with it clearance-wise. So I'm going to run into issues with that. So I think we're going to leave it like this. I don't mind this view at all. I feel like this view is super cool looking. Very clean on the lines. Let's add this walkway onto the iron plate side. Got a nice little lobby and a drive-through area. I wish I could turn down the mouse wheel sensitivity in this game. I feel like it's so high. I'm not sure that that's necessarily on my mouse. Has anyone else noticed that? Yeah, see, so like power running through the wall there, that ain't gonna fly. And that was running all the way down to here. So we're gonna do the same as what we did before and add cross beams. Because there should be a cross beam here. It mirrors what our layout is. And we don't need a cross that connects to those. We just need it to connect to the other side. Here. Get a nice little connection going. We'll delete that power line because that's totally messing up our flow. Adding a cross beam there, there, and there. And just adding this for consistency. There's not going to be a lot of usage for this. I mean, we can maybe put something in here to power. Like if we really wanted like a garage to unload stuff into this, we could. Or pick stuff up for us, we could. Definitely have the space for it. Okay. We've got that. Let's get our power up. And I'm not going to run it this way because right now we don't really have any use for it. Where's the double power? I think gonna have to be like right there for it to match up. Seems so. See, this is what I mean. Sometimes you'll build like your initial layout, and then it just makes it easier to make tweaks to it later. If you think you're just going to build it completely the way you want it from the beginning and never deviate, I mean, good luck. That's a lot easier said than done. So that should ensure that there's power to these, which it looks like there is. Great. And we have to mirror that on that side because we do have power just the same on that side. Not that it makes any real difference, but it's... Well, son of a... Nope, not what I want. That's what I want. We're just gonna do this because I am not walking all the way around. I also would like a little bit faster shortcut to switch my hotbars. But I guess I could change that to be a button press somewhere and then have a macro or something do that for me. Cycle up or down. Done and done. Alright, I'm going to do the walkways on this side like we have over on that side, and then we'll probably take a little bit of a break as I've already been streaming for 3 hours, and so this will also be a 3-hour long archive. Which is all well and good, but I want to make sure that the videos aren't too crazy long, and then on top of it, I should really, you know, get up, stretch, grab something to eat, walk the pup, that sort of thing. Gotta stay healthy. Can't sit here all day, you know? But if you're watching live, don't worry. I'm back to streaming shortly because I definitely have a lot to build today. For one, primary is like, let's get this factory up and running, because how freaking cool is it going to be when this iron factory is fully up and running. And I think it's the same here, where it goes like that, and then that. I think the walkway goes on the outside here. We'll double check it, but I'm fairly certain, because how else would it go up through that? Yep, we got our door for that factory, got a door into the lobby, then got another door between the two. Alright, I think this is where we're going to call it for right now. Thanks so much for watching. Hope you're enjoying the series and the videos. And if you're watching this on the archive, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Let me know if you have any ideas. Otherwise, I'll